Hello everyone, how you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome back to another video in the channel Shadow the First. As you can see, we are in a new room and the whole setup is different. I'm gonna have a lot of explaining to do, but not in this video. We are back with another leak video because of course we are. Sorry to all the pals that I left behind on YouTube, but I was doing all of my leaking back on Discord. I mentioned it, I put the link in the description and all of that. But yeah, we're back again and I'm going to show you all the banners that are going to be coming during January, as well as a new hero that we're going to have a kit breakdown for. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Just to begin, I'm just going to assume that there are two types of people that are watching this video. Those who have followed me through Discord and stuff and know all the big deal and stuff, right? I'm going to put timestamps in the description, not the description, here. Right down, like down on the video, and you can press forward if you know everything that's going on in the Discord and you have all the info you need. And there are those who have, you know, stopped their communication, they've stopped getting info altogether since YouTube, so I'm gonna also break it down for you as well. So watch this section if you have no idea about what's going on in the Discord. So just so we're in the same headspace, the last video that I did about 3 months ago, I mentioned a bunch of code names that was going to be future units. I mentioned Devourer, which turned out to be Ezereth, Loki, which was Valise, Piercer, which was Count Dracula, Demon Hunter, which was Dr. Van Helsing, and then the Underworld boss, which I don't know if it's currently in the game or not, like if it's an already existing unit maybe, I don't know, but to my knowledge that hasn't dropped yet. Maybe it's one of the units that they've released and I just don't know that, oh, this is maybe the name for that. But we have a bunch more names, and basically the way it works is we get these names, these are like temporary placeholder names, and after a while they get their kits and stuff, which is when we get all the proper leaks and give you all the names. So we had Skeleton Assassin, Female Fist, don't laugh, and it's not me who named this, Fern, Picasso, Knight of Judgment, and I believe that's about it. So we also mentioned, like, we did the whole Ravenhall and Adrian and all of that, we also leaked those. But yeah, aside from that, we have Skeleton Assassin, Female Fist, Fern, Picasso, Female Picasso. Yes, there are going to be two, and basically mostly about that. So now that I know somewhat who's going to be coming soon, the one that we're going to focus on today is going to be our boy Skeleton Assassin, which has his actual in-game name is going to be Ruen Hollow, right? Which I'm going to show you the kit. This is going to be how he looks, by the way. For reference, this is how he looks. Sorry if the image quality is bad, I had to really stretch it out to fit the screen. So before we dive into the upcoming banners, I just want to mention some stuff so that we're all on the same headspace regarding the new faction. The new faction is going to be dropping soon, maybe in 2 or 3 months, maybe 1 or 2 months, who knows, right? And it's the one that Destin found about 1.5 years ago in the files, and it has the one claw mark as its faction like symbol, sigil. People made a lot of speculations. There were a lot of guesses, but the best one that we found was based on the info that we had, was for Necro, or as he named in our Discord server, he is named Abson. He mentioned the best theory that we have yet, and that is this is not going to be about animals. The fact that there's a claw is not going to be animals, it's going to be about primal essences. So I'm just going to give you some info that we have. It's not much, but it's the most that we know. Firstly, the new faction is going to be releasing soon, 1 or 2 months, 2 or 3 months, something on those lines. Secondly, it's going to be about forces of nature. To my knowledge, it's going to be about forces of nature. So we have 2 confirmed units that are going to be in this faction, and these are mentioned by the devs themselves. So this is not leaks, this is 100% guaranteed. The devs mentioned this, and they're going to be And those two units are going to be Boreas and Eloin. Boreas and Eloin are in the new faction, and from that we can speculate that it's going to be about elementals and elemental power. So people like Glacius, Solkadens, you get the point, right? Glacius and Solkadens, speculation, but guaranteed are going to be Boreas and Eloin. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get to the actual upcoming banners. For January 9th, we have two banners that are Ezreal and Hatsut, that we have the banner art on my Discord. I didn't bring it here, I'm sorry. Which is going to be blue and yellow, of course, and Brokir and Xena are also going to be blue and yellow. Now, the source that I had said that they're going to be blue and yellow. However, my own guess, this is like not backed by any claims, my guess is that they're going to be yellow. These are going to be divines only for Brokir and Xena. However, my source says it's going to be both. We shall see. The next limited is going to be January 15th, is going to be Enora. I'm sorry for all those who wanted Gwen or Kigiri. January 16th, so a day after the Enora limited, so that you can do pity manipulation, is going to be Malvira and Ruen Hollow, which you can see the handsome chap right there. So Malvira and Ruen Hollow are going to be available for blues and yellows, while Enora is just for blues because she is a limited. On 17th, so the next day after Malvira Ruen Hollow, is going to be Yovar and Erlang Shen on Ancients. Pretty good banner, honestly, it's probably the best one in the list. January 23rd is going to be Valeria and Numera, and it's going to be for blues and yellows again. So we had this banner on for like 2 years or something. You know how it looks. January 24th is going to be the day after Valeria and Numera. It's going to be an ancient banner for Praetus and Sithra. So if you haven't snatched up Praetus, this could also be a very good opportunity for you, as well as Sithra being completely broken. Next is going to be on January 30th, which is going to be Ares and Ryzon. And having both of them, I really don't recommend you to pull on them. Ares is really good, and I use him in almost every single Malroy call that I have. But he's not worth going for at all. Ryzon is just complete dog shit. So this is probably not something you should pull on. Ezreal, Hatsut, if you're really missing Hatsut still, maybe it's a good banner, but I recommend just pulling on Nashens whenever they come up, especially this weekend that there's one active. But yeah, Ezreal and Hatsut definitely don't recommend pulling. Brokir Xena also don't recommend pulling. Enora limited, yes, limiteds are always worth pulling. Malvira and Ruen Hollow, pity manipulation is free, so it's a free legendary. You don't have to pull anything extra on that. Yovar Erlang Shen, definitely pull if you are missing either. If you have them, the Awakenings could also be pretty decent. Valeria and Numera, I definitely recommend pulling for Numera, as her Awakenings are busted. Praetus Sithra is going to be also worth pulling. Ares Ryzen, as I said, don't pull. January 31st is going to be a 1+1 pull if you're close to pity, but that just depends on the state of your account. And January 31st is going to be Comet and Edith, which I don't recommend pulling at all, and also it's Divine exclusive, so Comet and Edith is going to be not worth it by any means. Now that we have the upcoming banners for January at the way, let's get to Ruen Hollow and how he functions. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Ruen Hollow is going to be a single target physical DPS. It's going to be a Piercer of 12 cost, and it's going to be, again, a Piercer, so it's going to be the same faction, and heavily implied that it's also going to be a Primal when the next faction comes out. Him and Fern are, I don't know now, this is one of the things that we don't know, is that Fern and the Picasso lady are going to be the same person or not. Some people say it's going to be two different people, some people say it's the same person, we shall see. But it's heavily implied that that is also part of the Primals, and Ruen Hollow is like, I'm 80% sure it's going to be part of the new faction when it comes out, so currently it's a solo Piercer. It's going to be a marksman of 3,600 attack, which is much above what you typically see on a marksman. of 12 cost 7 piercer, because you normally see like 3k attack, and then with A2 they go up to 3.3k, but this is 3.6, so it's a pretty attack heavy guy. Not compared to some heavier units such as Ruen with 21 cost, or Yovar with 16 cost that they have like 4.2k attack, but he's still pretty heavy on the attack side, especially for a 12 cost piercer. 11.4 k HP, it's decent, it's on the higher end, but it's nothing like game breaking. 800 defense classic, 888 magic res classic, 12 cost average marksman, and attacking interval of 2 seconds, also average marksman. This is your textbook definition of a good marksman. The stats are just good. The HP is on the higher end, and the attack is higher than normal marksman you see at this point. So let's get to the talent. Upon deployment, gains invisibility. So the guy is permanently invisible, similar to Allura. When other allied marksmen use their ultimates, so this would be really good with Yovar, who can just constantly ult, just put out the ults out there. And also remember, this is allied, not going to be the same faction. So you can have someone such as, I don't know, Ruen on the Esotericist team, and he's constantly ulting as well, and it will benefit him as well. So it can be any allied, doesn't have to be in the same faction. When they ultimate, this guy does a phantom arrow, right? And what phantom arrow does is just does 320. It's just going to be 3 basic attacks worth of damage to one guy and 4 nearby enemies. So this also does somewhat an AoE damage. Don't know the effective range of it, if it's like a big AoE range, because that's going to heavily depend. If it's a small one, it's not going to do anything on the right side, and if it's big, it's going to change everything for the right side. But yeah, it's going to be one enemy within the marksman range is going to phantom arrow that, and phantom arrow is also going to give defense reduction. It's 25% defense reduction for 8 seconds. This effect can only trigger one time every 3 seconds. So yeah, don't spam your ultimates. Don't spam your ultimates. Physical attack, basic, it's as simple as it gets. It's just going to be 120% damage to one enemy, and airborne units are prioritized. Nothing out of the ordinary. The whole kit also is a translation, so some of the texts are different. For example, right moment is actually named opportune moment in game. It's just kind of like that. But yeah, while invisible, invisibility is active, so permanently his damage is up by 25%, and he restores 10% HP per second for himself. So he has self-sustain and is the only person that has the potential to be completely invisible, right? If you say someone like Allura with her exclusive gear, remember, she needs her exclusive gear. He doesn't. You can just slap on a high attack speed gear set and he's going to be permanently invisible, as you're going to see in a second. But yeah, pretty insane, pretty good. And I guess the first instance of damage taken per deployment, which is also pretty good. Not the craziest, but for the role that he's serving, especially on the right side, when the boss may be able to hit him, right side under gear rate 3, this is going to serve a good purpose. Next thing is going to be Hidden Strike, which is like the translation, but the actual in-game name is going to be Veiled Strike. Also, shout out to Rakonchi for the actual names and the stats. I didn't have the names or the stats, but he did, and I took it from him. I'm going to actually ignore this passive for now, and I'm going to explain why in a second. So he has this ability called Twin Bolt, which is his basic attack is going to attack twice, right? So he does his thing, he shoots an arrow, it deals damage, done, over, right? But during his ultimate is basically like a charge button. It's basically like a reload button. Imagine it like he has a gun and this is the reload button. Max range of 800, initial range of 500, so it's a very heavy ultimate, especially for what it does. It gives him 20 twin bolts, and what twin bolts do is when he shoots, instead of shooting once, he's going to shoot twice. Simple. It's just going to be double damage. It's nothing crazy, it's just going to be double damage to random enemies. So he starts to multi-attack random people in his range, similar to that Mithro shots that Van Helsing does. So he starts attacking random people in his range and then explodes all of them with the axe. it's somewhat similar to that. So during the basic attacks, when he has the twin bolts active, increases the damage of each fired twin bolt projectile by 100%. So each twin bolt is already a basic attack. This makes it double the damage. So twin bolts do double the damage they should at 200%. So it's just going to be 2 basic attacks worth of damage at each twin bolt. And then it's going to be 2 attacks. So it's going to be 4 basic attacks worth of damage each time he shoots. And ends invisibility 10 seconds after activating the ultimate if twin bolt projectiles are still remaining. So he gets 20 twin bolts. Whenever he shoots, he consumes 2. So he has 10 shots of twin bolt. Each shot of twin bolt does twice the damage. So in total, he has 20. Each one does 2 damage. It's going to be 40 times his basic attack in 10 basic attacks launched. I don't know if that's confusing or not. I hope you get the point. If you don't, I'll try to simplify it by answering your comments. But just know a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Ends invisibility 10 seconds after the twin bolt projectiles are still remaining. So he shoots and he's slow at shooting it. He still has twin bolts left. His invisibility runs out. And he gets invisibility again once he's done shooting all the twin bolts. However, if you have a good amount of attack speed on him, he's going to get rid of all the twin bolts before the invisibility runs out, and he's just going to be permanently invisible. He's going to shoot his little twin bolts, and then he's back invisible again. If it's fast enough, he's never going to leave invisibility at all. Now let's go to the hidden strike. For every several 4 twin bolts, so every 2 basic attacks that he does, launches a special phantom arrow that we saw. It's just going to be a lot of AoE damage at one enemy in basic attack range, but it does 5% less damage than usual. So this is going to be 5% less than 320, not 315, 5% less this whole thing. So it's going to be like around 300%. This is also like 20%, 15%, 10%, 5%. With the skill ups, it comes down to 5%. So definitely skill this up. Otherwise, your phantom arrow is going to suck quite a bit. So as you saw, it's basically single target, random target, and then AoE. It's a weird mix of all of them. But again, I don't know how it will look on the right side because the lore is just so solid. But yeah, we shall see how he functions. Awakenings. While Twin Bolt is active, so when he has the shots in his gun, in his bow, whatever, reduces the basic attack interval by 25 seconds, by 25%. So this is really good if you want to retain your invisibility at all costs, or just go back to invisibility even faster, because he's going to get all the shots out before he comes back invisible. He comes back visible. And Twin Bolt has a 50% chance to apply 1 stack of Winter's Bite. So this is also going to freeze them. Doesn't do much in our case, and especially since a lot of enemies are immune to Winter's Bite overall. But yeah, again, a nice touch. This part could have just been out and nobody would have cared. The important part is just here. 25% less attack interval means quicker invisibility and more damage output overall. He's going to be even burstier. 300 attack is awesome. It goes to basically around 4k, 3960. And A3 is going to be increases attack by 5%. So even further, he goes past 4k. When Phantom Arrow triggers, so this thing, additionally increases the hero's attack by 2%, stacking up to 10 times. So he gets another 20%. So 25% faster attack, 300 attack overall, 5% attack, 20% attack. He's just constantly getting his stats up. It's insane. 8% penetration, which is just casual. This is just as normal as you would see it. This is just the base standard model. Reduces the trigger interval of the Phantom Arrow to 2 seconds. So this goes from 3 seconds whenever someone triggers their ultimate to 2 seconds. It could be, it's very niche. I'm not sure if it's gonna help. Like, you don't have marksmen lined up in such a form that 3 seconds is a long interval between attacks, right? Yeah, it's a nice quality of life thing. Yes, maybe in one strategy this is gonna save you, but it's nothing crazy. But when it triggers, grants the corresponding ally a shield equal to 50% of their HP for 5 seconds. With the upcoming Northerner meta, this could be good. However, honestly, I don't see much use for this. So while these three awakenings are really good, the A5 just leaves much to be desired. I don't think this is as good as you would think it is. So go for A3 if you plan on spending. After that, it's just whatever. The A5 isn't gonna do much for you. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions regarding where I've been, what I'm gonna do, the upload schedule is going to be as shafted as it always is. I'm gonna upload videos whenever there needs be videos uploaded, I guess. I'm not just gonna force myself to upload random shit. I'm gonna upload videos when I have videos to upload. I'm not gonna, take your time and don't do anything about it. So thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and ask any questions if you have. If I can help you, I will. Have a good one, people, and goodbye.